47 and 48 is another evidence pair. But one thing I noticed right off the bat is that all of these line references are pretty close together. They're all in this one paragraph, basically one right after another. So that might make this pair a little bit easier since I don't have to jump all over the place to look at these lines. I don't know, maybe it's a little faster than 45 and 46, but if you're running out of time as you get to this passage, just a reminder, guess randomly on these evidence ones. Use the chronology rule where you can to cut out some of the line references, but ultimately add the points that are easy to add. Line reference questions, the quick questions like vocab and graphs, this is low priority if the clock is ticking. But assuming you have the time for it, you're still going to use the QLC method. The QLC method to sort through the choices. So let's take a look. What are we being asked about? Something very specific. Two-sided solar panels will raise efficiency by doing something. So there's like a specific answer to this question. So that's a good sign. It probably means we'll know it when we see it. So let's look at 58 to 61. It's right here. That's line reference A. The basic idea, which isn't new, is that during some parts of the day, sunlight falls on the land between rows of solar panels in a solar power plant. Okay, well that didn't mention two-sided solar panels at all. That didn't tell me anything. It doesn't say how anything's raising efficiency. It's just like a description of solar panel plants. So that doesn't answer the question. 61 to 62. That light reflects onto the back of the panels and could be harvested to increase the power output. Okay, so power output is increasing. That sounds a lot like raising efficiency. That's a great sign. They haven't really talked about the two-sided solar panels, but they are talking about the back of them, so maybe that's the other side. It's good enough for me to keep this choice. Let's look at C, 63 to 64. This works particularly well when the solar panels are built on sand, which is highly reflective. Okay, so it's still talking about the same thing. It's working particularly well. Its efficiency is going up, so that seems related. And I guess they're still talking about the solar panels. So that, to me, seems related as well. And choice D, 64 to 66. Where a one-sided solar panel might generate 340 watts, a two-sided one might generate up to 400 watts. Okay, so that's repeating the idea that it's raising efficiency. But this choice bothers me. And we've seen choices like this on other questions in this test. This is what I would call a what line reference, a what choice. Because it tells me what I already know, but doesn't say why it's important, right? The question is very much asking why. Why would two-sided solar panels raise efficiency? This line reference is saying that they do raise efficiency, but it's not answering the question as to why it happens. It's just giving me numbers that support that. So this is a problem. This can be very difficult to sort through. I don't expect you to understand this or start seeing this all over the place, but file it away for future practice tests. You want to be able to see when a choice is talking about what you already know versus evidence that supports why we know it. There's a trap there that the SAT likes to set, and we usually want the why choices. B and C, to me, are both why choices. Now I need to figure out which one is a better match for the answer in number 47. So we look, why will they raise efficiency? By requiring little energy to operate. They did not say anything about how they operate. Absorbing reflected light. Yeah, okay. Yeah, they're talking about reflecting. So there we go. That's probably the answer. It's in both those choices. C, being reasonably inexpensive. They don't talk about the cost. D, preventing light from reaching the ground. Well, no. They're saying the light is hitting the ground and then reflecting back up. So this is just the opposite of what they're saying. So I'm certain it's going to be B here. But it's a little tricky to know which of these two choices is going to be better evidence of that, because they both seem to be saying the same thing. And this is really what comes down to, we need to understand what it means for something to be evidence. It needs to support that point. So we want something that supports the idea that efficiency is raised by absorbing the reflected light. Choice B is better for that because it explains why and how it happens. The light reflects onto the back of the panels and could be harvested to increase the power output. So it's basically saying all three things that we needed to say. It's talking about the two-sided panels when it talks about the back. It's talking about increasing the power output, raising the efficiency. And it's talking about how it happens, through reflection. Choice C is kind of just clarifying that point and saying it's best on sand. But it's kind of just adding on to the main point, which is in line reference B. So it's more that like B is the general point that they're trying to make, and C is a specific example that supports that point. But the question is asking for the general point. How do I raise efficiency? By reflecting the light onto the back of the panels. That's what choice B says, and that's what makes it better. It's very subtle, and if you're a little confused, that's okay. But to me, it's pretty clear that choice B, line reference B, checks a lot more of my boxes here, and so I'd be pretty confident that that is right. And so yeah, the answers here are B and B, but it's tricky. This is why we use the QLC method. We're trying as much as possible to have a reason every step of the way as to why we pick our choices, and then to be able to compare all three pieces of these pairs at the end of the day.